Hello, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Don't know how many people we have in here yet this morning. Looks like we got one. Hey, Select Pet, how are you? I am sure more are gonna come. They say if you build it, they will come. But anyways, this is a live broadcast, but it'll be streamed after anyway. So welcome everybody who's watching this after this has been streamed and who's watching it now. This morning's talk is going to be mainly about my crystal red shrimp colony. As you can see, I have a camera set up on the crystal red tank. Hello, Chevy Fish. So what I'm going to do in a few minutes is I'm going to feed the shrimp so they're a little more active in the camera there. But yeah, they'll give us a good show. It's been a little slow around here the last day. We've been fighting an ice storm that came through. We've had the wackiest weather lately, so everybody's been cooped up in the house too long around here, and so I figured we'll continue with this 11 o'clock in the morning live feed. I enjoy it. I enjoy getting information out. I enjoy connecting with fellow aquarists. Sometimes it's can be challenging when I don't live in a remote area, but I don't live in a highly populated area. So to find people that I can hold a conversation with about Caridina shrimp, aquarium keeping in general, and to have people that could actually keep up with the conversation that I'm having can be difficult at times. So this is a good way to bring a message across, maybe help people out who are struggling with shrimp keeping. I'll talk about my struggles with shrimp keeping and where I'm at now and what I've learned. I got a whole bunch of stuff set up here, but let's get it started. So I'm going to start by, I'm just going to feed those shrimp that you see in the picture just so they get a little more active for you and you guys can enjoy watching them a bit more while I'm blabbing away. So that food that I just fed them there, that's an Amano version. It's right here. It's sorry, that glare is not great, is it? There we go. I got it off the Wish app actually, and it's just the soy-based food. It's a good supple. It's not what I give to them every day. It's more of I consider it more of a filler, but they do well with it, and it expands really well and allows everybody to get a little piece of what's happening. I'm just going to zoom that camera in on it a little bit more. Bear with me. How's our audio today, guys? We having audio issues? I'm guessing we're good. Okay, so you can see them all attacking that. This is my crystal red Caridina shrimp colony. I probably have about 120 to 150 shrimp in that tank, and they're essentially clones of each other. They are all double S quality. If you're into grading shrimp, these would be called double S. They're not a triple S, and they are no entry. They're double S, no entry. So they don't have like a Missouri spot on their back or anything like that. They're just straight up double S. But they're very good looking shrimp, and I enjoy keeping them. I may go out and get some triple S quality with maybe a Missouri patch on their back up near their head, just to try to diversify my bloodlines a bit and see if I can change the quality of my shrimp a little bit to have a different qualities. I am happy producing. This is what I would consider a true strain. This strain produces clones. If you look at those shrimp, every single shrimp looks exactly the same, just different size. Looks like the little green dragon bristlenose that I have in there are enjoying the food just as much as the shrimp. Good morning, Bipolar Aquatics, Drama D, Big J's, Chevy Fish, Select Pet. Thank you, everybody, for coming. So I'll answer your question right now, Select Pet, because I was going to talk about my water quality. I'll just bring your question up here so everybody knows what we're talking about. So yes, I do. I do RO/DI water for my shrimp. My water here is horrible for shrimp. It's the worst water you could possibly have for shrimp. I have a pH of 8.2 out of my tap water, 400 ppm. It's almost polluted. It's incredibly hard water. So I do use I do use RO, but there's certain things you have to do as well with RO. So these are things I've learned through shrimp keeping. So when I first started keeping shrimp, which was not that long ago, a year and a half ago, I failed. I failed and I failed and I failed. Every time I tried, I failed. I tried with NeoCaridina. I tried with Caridina. And the reason I failed is because I did not research enough. And I didn't put enough stock into the water quality that they demand to live a good life in your aquarium. So I've made some extensive changes to my shrimp tanks, how my shrimp react to what I do with the tank and whatnot. I'm very vigilant and careful, and I make my water as perfect as I possibly can for them to live. There's a few things that I need to do that, though. One is, as Select Pet asked, yes, it's RO/DI, but I have to do even more than that. So my RO/DI brings my water TDS down to that. My RO system's not the greatest, so it's usually around 8 or 9 TDS when it comes out. But what I do at that point, and it depends what shrimp we're talking about here. We're talking about Caridina shrimp right now. Caridina shrimp require different water than NeoCaridina. NeoCaridina shrimp, like your common cherry shrimp, a lot of your Blue Dreams, Riley shrimp, whatnot, they don't require quite as specific water parameters to do really well in your tank. Cherry shrimp are good with pH of 7, even a little bit higher, up to say 7.4, 7.5. They require KH in their water. Caridina shrimp do not require KH in the water. Zero KH. There's a couple of ways to achieve this because they do need GH. So I use a couple of products for my Caridina shrimp. One here is called B Shrimp Mineral GH Plus. This Mineral GH Plus remineralizes my water to my shrimp specifications, what they require for Caridina shrimp. And what that is a GH of 3 to 5 in the tank and no KH, and a TDS of between 80 and 120. I do add a bit of fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, to my tanks because, as you can see in the other camera, I have a lot of plants. I like to use a lot of plants. So with that being said, if you follow the manufacturer's instructions on the powdered bottle, you will achieve this. Certain things that are going to make your life happier, easier, and your shrimp's life happier that you're going to require. A TDS pen is, I didn't bring one over here with me, but everybody I'm sure has seen a TDS pen. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's a cheap one, an expensive one, at least it gives you some type of reference point to work off of, and they are calibratable. But that is very important. If your TDS is too low and you're not offering the right minerals in your water for your Caridina shrimp, their shells will not do well. They will not molt well. And quite often when they molt and their water isn't what they need it to be, they will pass. That is mainly due to their shells cracking with too low of a TDS, what have you. But that is their most vulnerable time as a shrimp, is when they are molting. So having the right water parameters will allow them to molt properly and carry on with their lives. And once your shrimp molt, they usually breed right after they molt. Sorry, I've been blabbing away. I haven't even been looking at the comments here. Welcome, Rockford Fish Keeping. Appreciate you stopping in. You're a mono shrimp. I see your comment there. You're a mono shrimp require different water. You're a mono shrimp. They will go from salt water to fresh water to brackish water. You're a mono shrimp are by no way as sensitive to water parameter changes as Caridina shrimp. So you're doing everything just right if they're living. I don't know as much about a mono shrimp as I do Caridina shrimp. I do have a few, and they're thriving. Mine are in a lower pH environment, but they are thriving. So I wouldn't worry about it. If it's working, don't change it. Because another very important part of keeping shrimp is keeping your water parameters stable. If you're going up in pH, down in pH, all over the place with your TDS, that's very hard on them, and they don't appreciate that much at all. So stability is the most important thing. Saying that, I used to run shrimp in 5-gallon tanks. I've upgraded these tanks. The tank you're looking at in the video there is a tank of, it's a 21-gallon cube tank. Another thing I use to buffer my water is an active substrate, and the active substrate that I choose to use and I've had the best luck with is ADA Amazonia. It comes with a downside. And if you're not careful with it, it'll bite you. It'll bite you hard. The bite that'll get you is if you are impatient and you are not cycling your tank long enough with the substrate before you put your shrimp in. If you don't cycle your tank enough before you put your shrimp in, your shrimp will die because Amazonia produces ammonia. And if you don't have your tank cycled, your cycle will not disperse that ammonia and change it to a harmless chemical. So you'll not do well. Caridina shrimp, NeoCaridina shrimp, fish, nothing likes ammonia in the water. Nothing likes ammonia. So a cycled tank is necessary with Amazonia ADA. Now there's two kinds. There's a dark version and a lighter version. It's getting very hard to get the darker version, which I prefer. But it takes about 8 weeks to cycle the darker version versus 4 to 6 weeks for the lighter version of ADA. But I just leave it. I do my ammonia tests. When my ammonia tests come back 0, then I do a big water change. Test again the next day. If they're still 0, then I'll go ahead with putting shrimp into that tank. But with the combination of the RO water, remineralizing your Caridina shrimp water with a product like this. I have another one here to show you as well. This is what I started with, and I have nothing against it other than I prefer the powder better, but this is called Shrimp GH, and it works very well if you follow the instructions on it as well. And like I said, I add a little bit of liquid fertilizer for my plants as well, but the combination between the active substrate, the RODI water, and the shrimp remineralization powder will give you a happy tank. Other things that are going to give you a happy tank as well is, you see all the roots there. Those are all water lettuce roots. There are many other plants in that tank. It's not an overly heavily planted tank, but it is with water lettuce. There's probably 100 pieces of water lettuce in there. And as you can see in the video, the shrimp love it. They go all over it. And yeah, they're just in heaven there with it. Now, what I am seeing is that comments are covering that up. So I'm going to try and figure out how to get rid of that again. I'm not sure. I guess we'll cover it up with the next statement. Oh, here, I could probably hide it. There we go. Sorry for covering that up on you. But anyways, you can see they're all through there. And what that water lettuce does is provide stability in the tank. I'm a firm believer that the water lettuce helps keep everything stable. Lots of comments. 10 people in. Thanks, guys, for supporting us. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. Some talk about some coral banded shrimp, which I know nothing about. I've just gotten into the saltwater world myself. It's an amazing world. I'm lost in it, to be honest. I have a dory fish, and I have a couple of clownfish and a puffer fish, some live rock, and a couple of anemones. And that's where I'm at with saltwater right now. I have 165-gallon saltwater tank, and I'm learning. So I'm really not doing any videos on it or anything. The only videos I may do on it is asking questions, because I am definitely not. I don't feel that I'm privileged to even speak on saltwater, because I just don't know enough, and there's so much to learn about it. Some talk about planted tanks. Plants, live plants in the tank, I think make all the difference in the world. The shrimp love them. I love looking at them. We have some gorgeous planted shrimp tanks here. The shrimp don't hurt the plants whatsoever, and they just look fantastic, and they keep the water parameters very, very stable. Very stable. And going to 21-gallon cubes from 5-gallon shrimp tanks, this is what that does. It offers another 16 gallons of water for stability. Other thing it offers is when I get really, really busy in the summertime. I'm a flooring contractor, so in the summertime, I'm working 12, 14 hours a day, every day, earn my money before winter comes, because winter is generally a lot slower for me. Other than this year, I've been working this winter as well. But that being said, sometimes I miss a water change in the summer. So when I was doing that, my shrimp were suffering. I was not getting the output that I did when I switched this tank to a 21-gallon cube from a 5-gallon tank. It exploded. You can see all the babies in the picture. There's little wee babies, all life sizes there. So I firmly believe the extra stability is what makes the difference with shrimp. Stability. Okay. You should. Oh, Select Pet's got another one here. You should. I just may do that, Select Pet. So far, I don't think I've had a whole lot of failures. I've been very careful with the salt water. As everybody knows, it's not the cheapest hobby to get into. So I haven't necessarily done everything right, but I haven't necessarily failed either. So far, I've found success. I'm able to feed my anemones. I've learned about that. I have bubble algae under control. I have some emerald green crabs in there and whatnot. So yeah, I will do a video on it soon. One issue with doing a video on that tank is it's upstairs in my dining room. So I have to do it at night, and I have to do it when it's quiet, because we have 4 teenage boys running around this house. It's rarely quiet. That's why I do Sunday mornings, because they're generally all sleeping. It's the best time to do a live chat for me. But yes, I will do some videos in the future on it. when I get a little bit more comfortable speaking about shrimp. Okay. So I'm going to move on here to some other things about shrimp because honestly, guys, this is where my passion is now, is shrimp keeping. I currently have crystal red caridinas. I have black King Kongs. I have red King Kongs. I have red King Kong Mazuras. I have blue bolt Mazuras and just your regular old blue bolts. That's what I have for caridina shrimp. Then I have red Rileys for NeoCaridina and red cherry shrimp for NeoCaridina shrimp. I have some shadow pandas that have morphed from the King Kongs. They get a bit of a yellow tinge. And this is what the cool thing about caridina shrimp I'm finding is that everybody can grade them all they want. They're still the same shrimp. They just come out with different patterns. And you can actually, through selective breeding, make up your own types of shrimp if you want. It's really cool to watch what comes out. I've been playing around with it a little bit. But for my black King Kongs, for instance, right now I'm trying to selectively breed to get them to be more of an extreme King Kong, almost 100% black. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do with shrimp. I love playing with them and seeing what I come up with. So it's something that fascinates me. They're so small, but they're so interesting at the same time. Some other things shrimp need is microfoods, biofilm, and some stuff like this. Cholla wood. This is staghorn cholla wood. Shrimp love it, and biofilm grows on it huge. Now, why do we need biofilm? Shrimp eat biofilm. Bottom line, it is one of their major sources of food. We put extra food in because we probably in our small tanks can't keep up with the biofilm production. But adding surface area like this, as you see, all the holes and inside where it's hollow, that all holds what's in there. No, nothing, just another piece of wood. Sometimes you find stuff in these. But all this holds necessary biofilm. Something else that helps with the creation of biofilm and the bacteria to create biofilm is a product called Bacter AE. I do enjoy this product. I do my tanks once a week with Bacter AE, and I do it when I do my water changes. Just in case I took some of that out when I did my water changes, I put a half a scoop. It comes with a little nifty scooper. I put a half a scoop back in the tank when I do my water changes. It does affect your TDS a bit, so watch that. When I do my water change, my Bacter AE, and my fertilizer, the water that is going into my tank from a water change is usually around 110 to 120 total dissolved solids, just for a little food for thought there. I'm a weird person, and I numbers. I remember a lot of numbers, so I can literally almost tell you the TDS of every single tank in my fish room. It's not necessarily important to me, but it's for a reference point, so I know if the TDS has changed drastically, if there's been a problem, and I need to stabilize that tank. That's why I do that. Bipolar, yes. I have the opportunity to get some Blue Dream NeoCaridina. The issue I have with it is a fellow hobbyist friend of mine in a city very close to me already breeds Blue Dream, so I really don't want to compete with her or step on her customers if I start selling them. So some things I'm careful of that sometimes. We don't need more people breeding Blue Dreams in this area. She breeds more than enough for everybody, and there's enough different kinds of shrimp around that yeah, we don't need to step on each other's toes. So I'm probably not going to get Blue Dreams, but one type of NeoCaridina that I do want to get is the black rose. They look great. I would love to. I have a tank ready for them. I have a tank cycled, ready to go for them. I'm going to pick up some of those black rose NeoCaridinas. Seeing if there's any more questions while I'm going through here. So I'll just keep on blabbing then. So, hello Valley Fish, welcome. Between getting biofilm on some cholla wood is great. Using the Bacter AE to develop biofilm is great. Bacter AE is not a food in itself. Bacter AE grows food in your tank, grows the biofilm. It adds the bacteria to grow the biofilm. One other product, I make this product myself. I import the cholla wood, and if you guys want to buy cholla wood off of me, or what I'm about to show you, many products, I'll move my head. You can just go to J&N Aquarium Supply, and we will help you out. So this is aspen wood, and what it is it's just a log that I've drilled a hole, cut, obviously, shaved, boiled, and drilled a hole through. Now you see all the wood in there that's looks kind of jagged, and it's not drilled out clean. That all collects biofilm. That's why I do not clean it out. And the shrimp absolutely love these logs, and the biofilm grows on them like absolute mad. So here's another option for biofilm. Another option for biofilm that a lot of people do in their tanks, shrimp tanks, is a little pile of rocks. I'm just looking to see if there's any. I do have some in my tanks here, but a little pile of rocks will develop a lot of biofilm as well. These are things we are looking for in our shrimp tanks to give them extra food. Before I get on to the food, I'm going to address Guppy Frenzy's question. Yes, I do have Live Bear's Guppy Frenzy. I have guppies. They're a strain that I've kind of developed myself. They are a black Moscow cross that I've been doing, and yeah, they're more for my own enjoyment. I'm not trying to recreate the guppy. I just wanted a color pattern and see what I could come up with, and I'm trying to breed it true now. So that's where we're at for that. And I also have Amicus splendens for live bearers as well. I haven't found a lot of success with them yet, but I've just started working with them. So we will keep working with them, and I'm sure I'm going to have success yet. I've been hammering the live food to them, Daphnia and whatnot, lots of plant matter as well. And I'm sure they're going to start breeding for me very soon. So that's what I have for live bearers. I don't have any more live bearers than that. I do have a lot of egg scatterers and whatnot. Right now, my big thing for fish breeding is I'm trying to breed my red rainbows, my New Guinea red rainbows, and I got a few babies, and I've set some more stuff up. I think they're breeding right now. Actually, while we're speaking, I've set up some new mops, and they're going crazy on that. There might even be some tiger barb eggs in there, and there may be some Odessa barbs eggs in there as well, because they're in that tank with them as well. Lots of bristlenose breeding. I believe I have 3 caves right now that either have eggs or babies in. I do a little bit of cichlid breeding as well. One type of cichlid that I'm very happy that I finally got a mouthful of eggs from is my Paracip nigrinus from Lake Tanganyika, the sardine cichlids from Lake Tanganyika. The Paracip nigrinus are a little bit different than your regular Cyprocremonas. As they are more lower in the water column, they use more of the middle to lower water column. They'll go in caves and use that area as well, where most Cyprocremonas will just stay in the middle to upper water column. So pretty cool. I got those Paracips last spring at an auction, and I got a mouthful. So I'm very happy with that. Just need a little drink of coffee, guys. Throat's getting, it is Sunday morning coffee, so enjoy your Tim Hortons. while you're watching this. So shrimp food, very important. People don't talk about shrimp food very much. Look at those shrimp going at that food. I'm going to zoom that in so you guys can have a better look. Before I zoom in, I'll pull it out so you guys can see the entire tank. It's just covered with water lettuce. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's about as zoomy as I can get with that camera. So for food, we talked about this food here. It's all in Chinese, so I can't read it. I got it off the Wish app. Cost me like $2 or $3 compared to if you go to a shrimp place, it's going to cost you 10 or more. This is the soy-based food, and as you can see, they don't turn their noses up at it. One big thing with food and shrimp is when I first got into shrimp keeping, beyond screwing up all the water parameter stuff that I do. Hello, Carrie Nature. Thank you for coming. Appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. I'd appreciate that. So everybody said feed your shrimp every other day, every third day, and your shrimp will do best. I think that is said by experienced shrimp keepers to keep people from overfeeding. I feel personally that I prefer to feed a little bit every day rather than feed more a couple of times a day. I like to feed them every day, and I've noticed I've done the experiment, and the experiment told me from my results at the end of it that feeding them every day was much more beneficial than feeding them every other day or every third day. They will miss a feeding once in a while, a day here, a day there, but for the most part, they get fed every day. And I like to feed them a very wide variety of food, maybe even some that are unconventional. But my results are speaking for themselves. This is what I love about this hobby. There is no one way to do it. My way doesn't mean it's the right way. That's just my way, and that's what I found. So if I found success my way, I'll probably keep doing it my way, but I'll try other people's ways too. And if I find success with that, I'll take something from that as well. And that's what these live feeds and YouTube and all this that's come out in the last few years has benefited this hobby greatly. Because before that, when I first started this hobby, I had Aquarium Magazine, and really I didn't know any fish even were out there beyond what I could find in that magazine when I was a kid. So now with all the information at our fingertips, there's no reason we can't care for our fish and invertebrates properly for what they require to live a long life. That being said, shrimp don't live that long to begin with, a couple of years at best. You might get more than a couple of years, but if you make it to 2 years with a shrimp, you're doing pretty good. But if you raise them properly, with the right water requirements, the right food, they will produce very quickly. They'll produce by the time they're 3 months old. They'll be producing their own babies quite often, and the life cycle just keeps on going. You think 2 years lifespan? Oh my God, I'm going to have these, and I'm never going to get babies in time from them before they pass on from old age. You'll get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of babies from them if you're doing things right. Sorry, my comments don't come up here as fast as they do for you guys. They're a little delayed, so if I don't get your question or comment right away, that is why. Yeah, bipolar feeds every day as well. Yes, mystery snails. Even in all my tanks, I have ram's horn snails. I have just pond snails. They help clean it up. And if you notice, I do breed a lot of bristlenose plecos, so I keep plecos in the tank as well, and they help clean up any uneaten food as well. Carry nature. My water parameters are whacked too. So I think you missed the first part of this stream where I spoke about the use of RO water and remineralizing your water to make your water exactly what your shrimp are looking for. So after the stream, if you go back, watch the very first part, I've answered all those questions for you. I'm very positive of that. My plecos eat what they eat. They eat what they eat. And I'm gonna get on to some more foods that I feed. I see on my iPad here that you have a water softener. Okay, so your water softener is going to hurt things. It's good. Your plants will not grow well with that water. And your shrimp will not grow well with that water. That's too much salt in it. You get salt in your water from a water softener. I make my own RO water. Honestly, you can go on Amazon and you can order an RODI unit that you can literally just screw it into your faucet and make RO water for yourself. That would probably be the best solution to your issue there. If you would like to keep softer water fish that require RO water. Okay, so I'm going to get on to some foods. So I've showed you the soy-based food. This food here is called Ultra Supple. And I am by no means endorsing any of these foods. All I'm doing is showing you what I've gotten and I feed a very wide variety of food. So we don't, I don't know if some of them are better than others, but I do know things are working when I feed a wide variety of food. It's as simple as putting in one of these sticks and they will eat it right up. They do like this food. They do like the soy food. And I'm only talking about my shrimp. Here's another plant-based shrimp food that, again, I don't know what it says. It's in a foreign language. But what I do know is that my shrimp do enjoy it. These ones are a little bit fatter sticks, but again, plant-based, and they take a long time to separate. So it's a long-lasting food. If I was going away for a while, this is the one I feed. Now I'm going to show you this one. I got this food here. It's called shrimp dinner. It's called shrimp dinner. It's from the same people that make Bacter AE. My shrimp do not like this food whatsoever. They do not like it. I don't feed this hardly ever because they just won't eat it. So I don't know. Maybe my shrimp are just picky, but they're not really. And these come in just little squares. But this stuff was expensive. I was $24 for this little wee container, and my shrimp hate it. So I personally won't waste my money on that one ever again. Now, this one here, pure spirulina powder. It's not an official fish food. It actually get it from a health food store. And that's what you'll get is a big jug of spirulina. And what I simply do with this, and I'm going to do it right now, just so you can see, I literally take a pinch of it on my fingers like that, the powder. Then I go to the shrimp tank and I just rub my fingers together. As you can see, I'm freaking them all out. You can see it's on my fingers. I'm rubbing my fingers together to get it off my fingers. It's going to make the tank a bit cloudy. As you can see, all the spirulina is coming down. It's going to make the tank cloudy, but all that spirulina powder is going to settle on the bottom. And the shrimp, especially your shrimplets, the baby shrimp, are going to absolutely love it. They will clean it all up. And this is one of the very best foods for your shrimp. Hey, down the wormhole, D, how are you? Thank you for making it. I appreciate the support. And once again, if everybody can hit that like button, we'll get some likes on there. So yes, the shrimp absolutely love this spirulina. I'm going to show you a cheaper option of it though. The stuff I just showed you here at a health food store, that is $32 in Canada to buy this. I purchased this package here. Again, it's in Chinese and I got it off the Wish app. But this is pure spirulina as well. I see no difference between the expensive Canadian version and this one. And this one was like, I think $5 or $6. So I would go with this one. I'm cheap, so I would. I had already purchased the other one before I found this stuff. But it works great. I also feed my baby bristlenose Plecos the exact same thing, the exact same method. I put some on my fingers. I rub my fingers together in the water to disperse the spirulina. It all settles on the bottom. The Plecos eat it up like crazy, and they absolutely love it. It's, I think, one of the best foods you can feed new fish. New baby fish, sorry, or baby shrimp. Even the adult shrimp like it. The Plecos in there eat it. Not a lot of people put Plecos in with their Caridina shrimp. I do just because I have so many of them. I just threw them in there because I needed a place to put them, and I let them grow out. I will pull them out of there very soon and maybe put some more smaller ones in there. Carry Nature, you're over next to Ottawa. Now you're quite a ways away from me, Carry Nature. It's I'm near Barrie, Ontario. Really, actually, just north of Barrie. Oh, very good. So one other food I'm going to show you is called Northfin Bug Pro. It's not a shrimp food whatsoever, but I do feed it to my shrimp. What I do, I'm just looking around for it. I think I put it away last night, but I have a little pepper grinder, and I put this food. It's I don't know if you can see in there. It's pellets, little wafers actually, like really small. I think these are 2 mil crisps, you could call them. And I put it in a pepper grinder. I grind it up into a powder, and I put that in the tank. And they love it. It's a good staple for them, and I've had really good success with it. So that's essentially what I feed my Caridina shrimp. Now, there's been a few people talking about a little bit of talk about NeoCaridina shrimp, and they do have different water requirements. Food requirements are the same. They will eat just about anything. Don't clean your glass. Don't clean your aquarium glass. I clean my front aquarium glass so I can see into the tank well and enjoy my fish, but my back glass and my side glass, I do not clean. I let it get algae on it if algae gets on it, and I let the shrimp clean that themselves, because that algae also holds biofilm, and that's the very best food for them. at all. That just is. That's what they eat in the wild, and that's what they'll eat in your aquarium, and they will thrive from it. I don't get a lot of algae in these tanks due to the fact I have a few green dragon bristlenose in there with them, and the shrimp themselves clean up the algae very, very well. So I don't have that problem, but it's free food essentially. So don't clean your glass would be my suggestion. Yes, Carrie Nature. I'm just across the province a bit from you, but I'm still a good 5 hours away from you if you're over by Ottawa. We're a morning's drive away from each other. Now I know down the wormhole, I believe you're in BC, are you not, D? You're a few days away from me. Sorry, I just go through here, see if I've missed anything. I think everybody's sleeping in. There was no sleeping in here this morning. We had an amber alert on our phones. There's a nuclear power plant about 2 hours away from here, and apparently they had a false alarm amber alert sent out to us. That's not one you want to get at 7 o'clock in the morning, saying there's a nuclear meltdown. Like that's bullshit. They should have been on that better. But anyways, they sent another one out saying that it was a false alarm. Other than that, we've been in an ice storm here for a day. So yeah, we've been just hanging out doing fish stuff, not going very far. Hey, 54 Punchy, thank you for stopping in and supporting us. I appreciate it. Yes, it's supposed to be Rockford, but I guess they count nuclear power plant meltdowns in there as well as a good idea for an amber alert. But it's usually for missing children, yes. Does anybody have any questions? I've been going on about shrimp care here quite a bit. Ah, yes, very good question, Valley Fish. Yes, I do. And I will get them for you. I'll be back in 1 sec. So you see a LCBO bag, but it is full of, dropping them all over the place here, alder cones. If you can see those. Alder cones I keep in just about all my tanks. A lot of people would be like, what's an alder cone? An alder cone grows on an alder tree. And what it does is it also helps buffer your water. And they have antibacterial properties in them, which I don't know. I don't get too many bacterial infections on my fish or anything, but I use alder cones. So I don't know if I just keep clean water or if the alder cones help, but I'm going to keep using alder cones because they definitely do not hurt my shrimp or any of my fish by any means. And if they're doing some good, and one other thing, I keep going back to this, biofilm is what you want in your tank. So biofilm will grow on alder cones as well. So by all means, in a 20-gallon tank, I have nothing against putting 10, 15 alder cones in a 20-gallon tank. Yes, Valley Fish, they definitely are good. Loaves and Fishes, hello and welcome. Jan, I just got golden back yellow shrimp to add color to my nano tank because the Amano shrimp are hard to see anything. Should I know anything special? Still really new to shrimp. Okay. What I do for my NeoCaridina shrimp is almost the exact same thing that I do for my Caridina shrimp. I just use a different powder for remineralization. With my crappy water here, I still use RODI, but I add this product here for my NeoCaridina shrimp, and that would be shrimp mineral, GH, and KH. NeoCaridina shrimp need KH in their water as well. You want to have a TDS of 150 to 200 for your NeoCaridina shrimp, which your yellow shrimp are. So I personally, just to avoid if there's anything in your water that affects shrimp or anything, I try to take all that out of any equation with keeping my shrimp, and I just start with RODI and I remineralize it. That way I'm making the exact same water every time, and my water parameters are stable and my shrimp go crazy when I do that. So I'll show you once again. That's the product, shrimp mineral GHKH. I don't have this product on my website. I don't sell it. I actually go to Shrimp Fever to purchase this product. They're online as well. Yes, I do, Carry Nature. I believe it's farther up in the comments. Select Pet put it in the comments further up. Maybe he can put that in again for me. Or you can just scroll up further in the comments and find it. Valley fish, I use dry maple stick pieces and dried leaves. Dried nettles, sticks are fun. Yes, by all means. As you can see, in the video showing the shrimp, there is an oak leaf back behind the Petri dish there that I use as a feeding dish. I do get dry oak leaves in the fall, and I use them. I'm a little bit cautious with maple. The only thing I'm cautious with about maple is the sugars and sap in the maple. So if I'm going to use maple, which I have, I just make sure I boil it really good first. My wood of choice in an aquarium is alderwood. Alderwood or aspen. Aspen's probably number one. Alderwood would be number two. Alderwood throws a lot more tannins into the water, so if you don't want tannins in your water, I suggest boil it about 3 times, rinsing in between each time. Same with maple. If I was to use maple, unless it's really, really dead maple, and I know all the sugar and whatnot is out of them, by all means, go ahead. But great comment. Oh, someone's trying to call me. That's not good. I think we went back on here. There we go. Sorry, guys. Okay, what else? I see we got a few here. I notice many people feed their shrimp in a dish. Why? Great question again. That's more just so, to control the waste from fouling the water. Bipolar answered your question for you, but essentially it's just to keep the food into one little area, and especially for this purpose is I want them all to go to one area. Quite often the food can get down into the substrate and whatnot, so I try, if I'm feeding larger foods, I try to put them on a dish of some sort, so they're not getting mixed in with the substrate. A lot of my powder foods, and like I said, when I put the spirulina algae in there, I just let it go. I don't care where it goes. But some foods I prefer to be on a Petri dish. Good morning, Frank. Thanks for coming out. How large of a Neo shrimp colony can you have in a 5-gallon aquarium? Bit of a loaded question, Frank. The reason I say it's a loaded question is because I don't know what's in the tank, and that is a huge contributing factor to how many fish you could keep in a tank, or how many shrimp you could keep in a tank. If you have an active substrate and you have little rock piles like I spoke about earlier, or pieces of cholla wood in your tank, little logs in your tank, little rock piles in your tank, depending on how many areas you can grow biofilm. I don't know. I would say I've had over 50 in a 5-gallon tank. So I don't really know, but you can have at least 50. I can tell you that. If you have a little sponge filter going, you keep your water parameters stable. Yeah, I guess you could keep going until they stop breeding, and they will. If your water parameters aren't keeping up, they will die off if you get too many in there. So it'll be a bit of an experimental thing. But I appreciate you having you in our chat this morning, Frank. Do I sell shrimp? Yes, I do. I do sell shrimp. I don't ship in the winter. Right now it's -10 out there. I'm not comfortable with shipping in the winter, but I will ship in the spring, summer, and early fall. Yeah, terracotta pot saucers. They work great because they're a little bit porous too, so they will actually hold biofilm as well as working as a good food dish at the same time. You're welcome, Frank. Yeah, green beans. What I prefer to feed over green beans, a lot of people do green beans, and there's nothing wrong with it. Plecos love them. Most fish love green beans. My issue with green beans, I find with shrimp, because like one green bean is a lot of food for a shrimp. I prefer to use zucchini on a fork or a stainless steel screw to help weight it down raw. It lasts longer, doesn't follow the water, and I believe the shrimp get more from it from a piece of green zucchini. So, but there's nothing wrong with green beans. I would just be more prompt to pull it out a little bit earlier. I wouldn't leave it in too long. I'd leave it in maybe 12 hours at most, and pull it back out. Yes, wood, carrier nature, wood, cholla wood, little logs, anything, any wood is great to have in your tank. Grows biofilm. The shrimp love it. The shrimp are constantly hanging out in my wood logs. Where are we at here? We're almost done. Awesome. Where do you get zucchini powder, Select Pet? I would love to get some zucchini powder because I like to make my own fish food as well, and I would love to be able to put zucchini powder right in it. Right now with my homemade fish food, I put peeled raw shrimp, green peas, shelled green peas, spirulina, and green beans as well. A little bit of zucchini, but I would love to put some powdered zucchini in. So yeah, let me know. That would be great. Thank you for showing up, Father Fish. Good to have you here. And yes, that's a great idea too. Just make sure it is a very small portion because, like I said, I do find the beans foul the water a lot faster than the zucchini does. Yes, we have lots of nature up here. Yeah, I allow people to come in my fish room anytime. You just give me a shout ahead of time, and we usually set something up if people want to come see the fish room. Okay, so I could probably get zucchini powder the same place that I got this spirulina powder here. That would be absolutely great. That would be absolutely great. So I'm actually just about done my talk here. I don't want to go into Dee's. I don't want to go into Dee's time. I know Down the Wormhole is on at noon, and I guess she's on now. So I do appreciate everybody for coming. I hope some people have learned something, taken something away from this. I enjoy talking about my shrimp and fish, and today I wanted to keep it pretty much a shrimp talk and give people something to look at it. We're going to keep doing live streams. I'm going to try and make 11 o'clock Sunday mornings my regular time, and if I'm able to do it, I will do them. And one thing I want you guys to watch out for, which I think is going to be really cool, is I'm going to start having more guests on. I don't know how many of you have seen Trevor and I last week. We're going to do that more often with more guests. We're not going to screw the audio up for the first 6 minutes of it, so it's actually a good video. But hey, we live and we learn. I'm not a technologically advanced person. I'm not good at all this technology. I got $3,000 worth of technology around me here to do this, and I don't know how to use hardly any of it, so I just figure it out as I go. So we're going to do it again. We're going to do next Sunday morning as well, and we're going to do a night this week, and I'm going to either have maybe Trevor on again, maybe another guest, maybe a remote guest, but we're going to do some more. So oh, thank you, Father Fish. That's a great compliment coming from you. I watch your channel as well, and you have a great store where you're at there. And next time I'm in Florida, I would love to stop in and check your store out. Okay, guys. So head on over to Down the Wormhole's channel. Again, hit the like button before you leave, and I appreciate your guys' support. Hope you got something out of this. Enjoy your Sunday. Happy fish keeping, everybody. Take care.